everyone, it's Catherine. For those of you that are subscribed and have been here and have watched my back to school videos, you know that most of the college content I make is about what to do in college, what you should do, tips, advice, everything you should keep in mind for your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. This video is going to be about everything you should avoid, mistakes, regrets. The goal of this video is for you to learn from my mistakes and not repeat them. Mistake number one is just staying on campus all the time. And not just campus, but like the little, college streets around campus too. I went to school in LA, so obviously there's a ton to explore off campus. But even if you're in a rural or suburban area, make an effort every month, during the weekend, during the weekdays, to get out of your normal campus environment, explore the place you live, because you don't want to graduate and people ask you like where you went to college and actually know nothing about the area. You want to feel like you're an actual resident of that new city. Bonus points if you don't just get out of campus, but actually do some volunteer work there or get a part-time job, involve yourself in the community in some way. That will teach you so much more than if you just stick in your little college bubble. Next, it is a mistake to think the career fair is only for seniors. It is really intimidating. Everyone is suited up. You might not have a blazer. You might not have a blouse yet. That's okay. You can borrow them, whatever you gotta do. You should be going to the career fair every single year. That might mean you'll have to skip a class, but honestly, you'll be surprised what employers can do for you if you demonstrate that you're proactive, you take initiative. Even if you don't have the experience on the resume you think they'll need, it is so helpful to see what that career fair environment is like. And I know a lot of people that have gotten internships out of it their sophomore year, their junior year. And I'm bummed that I waited until my senior year. So grab a pair of slacks from someone on your floor and get out there. And now for the next mistake, going to a professor's review session without actually having started your studying beforehand. All the time, I'd be like, great, I'm so glad they're dedicating a whole class to a review session for the upcoming exam or the midterm or the final. It's gonna be great. I can start my studying by going to the review session, seeing what the important tidbits are. But no, it is so much more effective, and I only learned this really in my last year, to go through the review guide if they give you one, and if they do, they are a very kind professor, or go through, your personal notes, go through everything, do some practice tests if you can find those online or anything, and see what you don't know first, because then you can bring that into class and get it clarified. If you come in there with no real knowledge, you've forgotten a lot of stuff, and they're going over things, you want to do your studying beforehand, because then if you find some gaps in your knowledge or you can't really understand one section of the chapter, when the professor talks about it in their own words, that'll really help you to contextualize it and solidify it in your brain versus going into the review session like, I don't know what I'm gonna get out of this, and just kind of scrambling random notes, whatever you can do, and then days later you look back and you're like, I have so many questions and now it's the night before the test and I can't ask the professor them. So do yourself a favor, just start at least one part of your studying beforehand. You'll probably make this mistake a few times, but eventually you'll come around and heed my wisdom. I really think eventually you'll see that this is the way to go. Next mistake, buying a cheap bike lock. Bike theft is one of the biggest problems on college campuses, and I know not everyone bikes around their college campus if it's hilly or whatnot, but if you are planning on getting a bike, don't even invest in the bike. You can get like a $100 used beach cruiser for pretty cheap. The bike can be cheap, but the lock should not be. Do not shy away from spending like $50 on a bike lock, because at the end of the day, you want your bike to look like it is the most elaborately locked. It's kind of like survival of the fittest. If your bike lock looks the weakest, anyone that wants to just clip it off is gonna go for yours first, versus if you have a U-lock and a cable and it's running through the frame and the tires and the bike cage, you're gonna look too difficult to even try, and that's the goal. The next mistake is buying all of your textbooks from the bookstore before the first week of classes happens. I might make a whole video just about how to get textbooks in college, but here's the quick rundown. Once you know what you need, make one huge list with all of the titles and the authors and the ISBN numbers. And then I'd recommend hopping over to Barnes & Noble. You can actually just go online to their website. If you buy your books off of Barnes & Noble, you can actually get up to 30% off of new textbooks and then up to 90% off of used textbooks. So potentially you could only be paying 10% of what you would in the bookstore. And you can get free shipping if you order over $25 worth of textbooks, which unfortunately I'm pretty sure all of us will end up ordering over $25 worth of textbooks if you're taking just a couple classes. Thank you, professors. Depending on how long your quarter or your semester is, they have really adjustable windows for their rental periods. So you could rent it for just like 2 months, you could rent it for 130 days, anywhere between there, and you're covered. And at the end of that period, they have a buyback program, which means that you're not just losing all that money on the textbooks, you can get some of your money back and actually earn money from having used those textbooks and studied from them. You can pass them on to someone else and share the love and the sometimes pain of studying all of that stuff. I'm gonna have everything I just talked about linked, but I am working with Barnes & Noble on this video, which means that you all get a very sweet hookup thanks to them. This video will be a giveaway for a $100 gift card to Barnes & Noble, so you can enroll in their textbook buyback program and get a good chunk of money off. If you think you might want an $100 gift card, you just need to be subscribed to this channel, and then go ahead and click the link to the Barnes & Noble website in the description, as well as a link to a tweet. Like the tweet so that I can contact you if you are the winner, and that drawing will be happening in just a few weeks. So enter, enter, enter. I'll have the end date in the description. Textbooks can really hurt your wallet and your outlook on the semester, so do your best to find discounts, and Barnes & Noble will make those very apparent to you through their textbook buyback program. Next mistake, only using a debit card. College is really the time to get your first credit card. I know most of you aren't too financially savvy. I am not either. I just have taken more interest in it lately because I feel like I'm kind of behind. I never got a credit card while I was in college, and they have some great deals for student credit cards. And once you're out of college, you can't necessarily access those as easily. So take this opportunity, have your parents co-sign, or just get your first credit card. I can link some articles down below that will help you with that, but it's not as complicated as you think. You just pay it off in full every month, and it barely even crosses your mind. It's a mistake to buy your lunch on campus. I didn't have a dining plan for most of my college experience. It's just kind of normal at USC to get off the dining plan. If you're still on your dining plan, use that. Don't worry about it. Exploit that as much as you can, I promise. But if you're not and you have to make your own food or buy your own food, always pack your lunch. And I don't mean that you have to like make your own sandwich, put some soup in a thermos. You don't have to worry about that. Even if you just go to the grocery store and buy like a $3 microwavable mac and cheese, that is gonna be like half, if not a third of the price of what you can probably buy on campus. And it's just gonna be honestly the same quality. Or to buy a prepackaged salad or to buy a prepackaged wrap. It is so much cheaper to buy that at the grocery store than it is to wait till you're on campus and just kind of decide every day what you wanna buy. One blundering mistake you can make is to not write down all of your deadlines day one of the semester. When you get those syllabi, you should be writing down every single date, deadline, anything important in your calendar, everything in one central calendar, whether that's paper or online. There were some times where I'd have professors that would kindly remind us of due dates, like a week before. They'd be like, hey, your paper is due next Tuesday, or hey, we have a midterm next Thursday. And I'd be like, great, they're reminding me. I can kind of depend on them to give us sort of checkpoints throughout the semester. But professors are not perfect. They will sometimes forget to remind you. You could miss class and miss that reminder. So do not think that professors will give you the deadlines and due dates, and remind you of those things. They might have done that in high school, but in college, make sure you are accountable for your stuff, because deadlines can creep up on you and no one mentions anything and you're in the dark and you miss an easy, 2% of your grade just by forgetting to turn the thing in. Leave me a comment down below if you want to enter that giveaway. Everything will be in the description box, so make sure you check it out. If you think you want some more advice from me, you think I'm even 1% credible, go ahead and subscribe. Our community is really growing. We're heading into back to school season. Everything is very exciting. And if you do subscribe, I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time, and Katherout.